We are live.
Hey, hey, hey. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is for you guys. Good morning,
Blessed
Shel.
solstice. You forgot blessed solstice.
Yes, blessed solstice for sure. Did you guys
Hello,
watch the
hello.
moon or the stars? Did you guys watch the stars?
Yeah, I tried to see it. It was overcast here the last couple days, and it hasn't really shown up as beautifully as I've seen some photos on Facebook. They're amazing on Facebook.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was watching on YouTube because there were the observatories.
oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And so I went out to the observatories and watched some of that stuff. I'm waiting for people to come in. I see Cindy Utter is here.
She is.
I am okay. I have been so blessed this holiday season. You know, we're all not seeing family and doing stuff and all that. My friends have been taking care of me. I'm telling you. What am I doing this morning? Well, one of my friends had sent me these beautiful mission watercolors, and another friend, I just it just amazes me. These people know me too well. Okay, I have chocolate covered strawberries I'm eating while I'm talking to you guys.
Oh,
Hey, 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 there's Vicky coming in the house. Hey, Peggy Bradford, hi.
there's way too much.
Hi, Nell.
This thing that I put my new gel plate on is too. It's like a trampoline. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like trampolining as I'm rolling. I guess I should have gotten some roll-off paper. That would have been smart.
Hi, Kathleen. Happy holidays. So what am I doing? Well, I swatched all this stuff out, but I'm a messy girl. Can you see where I've already been messy on here? So I'm laminating it before I make a bigger mess. I've just got this cold lamination where you peel and press so that I can keep my swatches here. And what I did when I swatched this out is I put down, not only just the color, but I put in whether they were transparent, semi-transparent, staining, all that stuff. I put right here so that when I pick up my palette, I will know.
So what are we actually doing today? I didn't have a plan, and then Peg was doing something that I thought was smart, and then we just thought that we should talk about it, and so I decided to do what she's doing, which is making Happy Mail to send to people. This morning, Peg, or maybe it was last night, or maybe it was the middle of the night, she posted about our Art Joy of Sharing file for random acts of kindness. Have you guys seen that?
I hope so, because right now everybody needs a random act of kindness.
Yes, for sure. So then we were talking about all this box that we apparently both have that has all these card kit packet things that we used to make for classes in them. And mine look like this. I used to have classes at my home for card making, and I would cut up all the stuff in advance for whatever project it was, and there would be a sample, and then I would have all the things that you needed in a box, and I would have 10 of them, and then people would come to the house, and they would go to the 10 different stations. I called it Stamp a Stack, and they would stamp a stack of cards, and that was the event. So I have all kinds of these, little packets where people didn't use it all. Maybe somebody that RSVP didn't show up, or maybe I had a couple extras and nobody messed up or whatever. I have a ton of these, and she was suggesting that perhaps making cards out of them and sending them as random acts of kindness would be a super good idea. And I agreed, but I don't really do much stamping anymore, so I wanted to do a mixed media instead. So
mixed media, stamping, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. People just enjoy getting stuff. And
yeah.
a lot of, okay, let me stamp this down. This is a Brilliance Cosmic Copper. I was playing with these metallics last week or two. And so this is some that's metallic that I had on just a gel print pull up. And what I wanted to do was see what I could get with these metallics on these gel printed papers. See what they look like. Want to make good contact. I had yesterday. Let me show you what I did yesterday. If I can find it. Ha ha. That's the question. Can you find what you did yesterday?
That is always the eternal question, isn't it?
Well, I was putting stamps together yesterday. And I don't know where they are right now. Oh, here they are. I have to move my berries to find them. That's a sad story, isn't it? So, okay, yesterday there was this deal on these plates, and all of these came in a kit, right? But they were unmounted stamps, and I love these stamps. I've got Stampscape stamps that I've had for years, like this. I've had stuff like this for years that I've used, but they were offering a deal. And so what I did yesterday is I went in and put the foam mounting on the backs of these so that I've got them all ready to roll, and then packaged them. So that was one thing that I was doing yesterday. So let's see what this looks like. Oh, that's kind of pretty. I put some Post-it down to mask. It needs something darker. But for a background in here. Now, if I see this blue-green, if I came in with that blue-green metallic ink on top of that so that they were more forward, then that would make a really pretty card. And it's got shimmer. Okay. So that was one of my experiments I was playing with. The other thing was, last week, I think it was last week, wasn't it? I was making this tag book, I think.
Yeah, last week you made a tag book.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show you, if I can get this off of here. Wanted to show you what that ends up looking like. I've got a few tags left over here. But and these are the start of something else. These can go in your journal. These can get taped into a flip out in a journal or something. But this is the book that I had started last week. So it's got a number of pages, and it's all set to go. Hey, Marie. Hi. So I did work on that a little bit more. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, Happy Mail. We got a lot of people that are sick right now that are going through it. I got friends of mine that are in the hospital, one of which is Jackie. You probably know her as Jay Cherie on YouTube, and I think it's Creations by Jay Cherie on Instagram. Jackie is in the hospital, has been sick for a while, and she's one of our members that contributes. She does a lot of gel printing. So if you can, and you've got Happy Mail that you can send, think of Jackie. Her address is P.O. Box 846, Flossmoor, Flossmoor, Illinois 60422. And just, send her a little something. Everything's going in a P.O. box, so nothing big, but, she would love to hear from you guys. Hey, Rennie, how are you this morning? So, yeah, I've got to get something out to Jackie for sure. But I was just going to give you an example of these are things that I'm starting to address off of our random act of kindness stuff. And just to give you an example of what goes in something like this, I like to put in stuff, just random stuff. These are some printed things. These are ATCs, stuff like this that goes in the envelope. And then I like to pick a card. Here's a nice card. And I can address this to whoever and put it in there, and it makes a really nice Happy Mail gift.
We can all just make stuff out of stuff that we have and send it to people, and it'll be
awesome. Yes, you come on over. We can probably dip some more strawberries.
Okay, so these are leftover bits that were from something that somebody made years ago, and I gel printed these little pieces with a Stencil Girl stencil and my brand new 5x7 gel press plate. I didn't have this size, and this is perfect for cards. So I was gonna play with it this morning. It smells so nice. This plate. It smells like mint. I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on this, keep it down here. I'm all about color coordination. Do you like it? And I guess I had some little ribbons. Huh. I think it was supposed to be under this layer. It would be great if I used up all this stuff,
So you can see I've started my pile of Happy Mail that's going out.
Peg sends a lot of Happy Mail. I'm not nearly as good about it. She sends me stuff all the time.
One of the things that I have done just recently is I got this. One of the people on YouTube had one of these, and I saw it, and it's like, oh, I've got to do that. It's a postage stamp book, and I like it because, let me get this out of here. It's just, like the stamp collectors have their stamps in here. And so, like, if I've got seasonal things, like these will be Valentine. You've got these forever stamps now, right? So I've got, Bugs Bunny, and I've got these Innovation, and I've got all different kinds of stamps in here so that I can send things out for whatever, thank yous. I've got thank you stamps. These are global stamps because, yes, I am sending things globally. And you can order these right online from U.S. Postal Service, and they will send you these things. I'm still waiting for, I wanted to get some of the 5x7 cardboard mailers because I have a few things that are a little bit bigger that I want to mail out to people. One of the things Shel and I have been doing this year is a lot of those 6x6 dealies, and they're starting to accumulate on my shelf. So you know, you never know what's going to show up in your mail. So then, back here, I keep, the returns, the little things that go on to say who I am and what's going on. But all of that is right here. And my friend Vicky said, well, write postage stamps on there so that you know what it is. So I did.
She's no dummy.
Yeah. So, yeah, my book is helping me a lot stay organized because I had stamps everywhere. Do you guys have stamps everywhere? Hey, Claudia. Hi, Merry Christmas. They just, they go into a drawer, they go in my purse, they end up everywhere. So I wanted some way of corralling that stuff. So one of the things that we're doing on Art Joy of Sharing is showcasing some of the artists that are in Art Joy of Sharing. And so we're going to be, having them come on the channel and, kind of doing little interviews with them and having a crafty chat. Kind of like what we're doing today, where Shel and I are just making stuff and talking.
Yep.
And so we're gonna talk about different topics, because all of the artists that we have in Art Joy Sharing are, it's such a diverse group. I love it because we have people who do all kinds of different things, whether it's sewing or gel printing or doodling or glue booking or making alcohol ink art or working in ceramics, or we've just got a really diverse group, and it's all wonderful stuff. So we want to talk to these people about what they do and introduce them to everybody. So if somebody's doing something with 3D stuff, and I'm saying, oh, that's really cool, let's talk about this. We want to get the scoop, right?
Indeed.
So that's kind of where we're headed this next year. We want more of a community, and so we want to bring some of these other people on board for you to see and recognize, because you know how Facebook is. You see somebody one day, the next day, what was that I missed yesterday? It's gone. And
you never see it again with Facebook.
yeah. So I'm just saying that we really wanted to introduce you to a lot of these people that we know, that we see, and have YouTube channels that you can follow, all of that kind of stuff. So that's where we're headed with this. So we're going to have a little chat here today. I talked to Shel about what kinds of things would we be talking about doing this. Oh, I like that, Shel. I like that a lot.
Super simple.
Yeah.
But pretty.
And so, we're going to kick it off just kind of talking about random stuff here. And I'm going to ask Shel a few questions, and, we're both going to kind of respond to this a little bit. So what I want to ask you, Shel, is when you're working on arts and crafts, what is your comfort zone or style? What do people recognize with your work?
Well, I think I finally settled on calling myself a mixed media collage artist. I do a lot of stuff. And I have done a lot of stuff all through the years, ever since I was a child. And so I think what I really love, I love collage. I know that. And I love making layers and I just saw what Rennie said. Shel, that hello stamp is probably 100 years old. You're right. This is an old stamp. Get over it. Anyway.
We
all
all
my stamps are old because I don't stamp anymore, okay? Now I do mixed media collage. That's my current love. I can't really say that it won't change, because it probably will. But right now, I'm going to call myself a mixed media because I like to mix acrylic with water soluble stuff. I like to gel print. I like to glue paper to stuff. I mean, that's me. So does
Yeah.
that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Everybody, the thing that we hear so much from people is, you know, do you have a style, or what is your style? Or, people they're afraid of that whole thing because it kind of puts you in a box, but it doesn't. In some ways it does, in some ways it doesn't. But like me, just say squirrel. My
Yeah.
style is eclectic. I'm just saying. I do all kinds of different arts and crafts. And so there is no just one thing that I go to because I can do stamping one day, I can do painting another day, I can do basket weaving, I can do, it doesn't matter. I just do what I like to do. So I would say my style is just very eclectic, and that is my comfort zone.
That makes perfect sense to me. I think that you can be just whatever. I'm like that too. But I also know that I'm obsessed with collage at the moment. So I guess, and I've been
Well, and
obsessed
you
with.
do such wonderful collage work. I mean, the thing about Shell is not only does she do portraiture and animation and all that kind of illustration, she does great abstract. And, I
Oh,
love the work that she does with the torn paper and stuff. So if you guys, I know the people that are here right now know who you are and what you do, but anybody that's watching this later, go check out her channel. Check out her playlists. You'll find something there that gets your interest going.
yeah.
Just
I go
saying.
on random tangents. I make art dolls sometimes. I
Oh,
don't know.
guess what Shell sent me, guys? Look at, isn't she beautiful? I love it. I love it. I've got her hanging up right here by me.
I'm glad you like it. I sent out a few of those. I'm still gonna
Yeah.
send some more stuff to some more people. Things have been crazy at my house.
Yeah, it
That's
gets
how it
that
is at
way.
the holidays. You think you've got it handled, and then things just go out the window, and you have to come up with new solutions to old problems instantaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
I'm trying to pull out like the birthday ones so that I get a pile of birthday stuff and a pile of, it's just crazy. All the stuff we accumulate because we just keep making, right?
Oh yeah, I never stop. I never stop.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I stop. Pretty much the entire month of November, I stopped.
Remember when we were making our own postage stamps?
Oh, I remember that. I totally did that. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Or the clear cards. I mean, we've done it all. How about
Yeah.
this one? This one is when we were making the tile with stencils.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, we have done it.
I have definitely done it. I know you've done it.
So, we're talking about the stuff that we're doing on a regular basis, or the things that we do. Shel, do you have a habit or a practice with your art? What do you do?
Well, I would like to say that I do have a habit or a practice. I have tried to get into having a habit or a practice. Um, I've tried, like, artists will talk about how they go and they journal in the morning and they write down stuff. And I tried that. I tried doing journaling um, on tissue paper during November, just, real random journaling stuff. Um, but the reality is that I am pretty much, I would say I'm responsibility driven. So I know that I need to make stuff for my channel. I know this. Every day I need to make stuff for my channel because otherwise it just goes nowhere. I mean, if you don't have content, then your numbers just go down, 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 and you start to cry. So I wake up and I say, I need to make something for my channel. And then I go into my room and I do all my work in the morning. Or in some cases, I mean, it's not always just my channel. Sometimes I need to make something for a commission, or sometimes I need to make something for something that I've committed to, whether it's like a design team thing, or maybe I need to do something for a hop, or I need to do something for Joy of Sharing. That's what drives me, is having responsibilities and having, like, that's the reason that I like the challenges. Like, I'm the one who likes the challenges because then I can say I need to do my blah, blah, blah today. Whatever challenge it was. I need to. But then the flip side of that is, of course, sometimes you feel overwhelmed when you're like, I need to do this and I don't want to do it. I'm tired, I'm burned out, whatever. So I've been dealing with a lot of that type of reaction myself this year because everyone is sick of everything to do with 2020. And I'm no exception to that. I am completely sick of 2020.
Yeah, I think we're all at that stage. And that's part of the whole daily practice thing, I think, is that it helps us get out of that funk because we know we have something to go and do. Like I'm starting that whole journal thing for next year. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Trying to find where
Your journal planner calendar.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I
think you even worked on it a little bit 2 weeks ago here on the channel.
I did. So, I mean, if you guys are interested in any of that kind of stuff, you can go check my channel, which is Peg Robinson. And I've got all that kind of stuff. And as I work through that, I will probably make a playlist for that type of work because my journal is my stuff. You know, you guys have seen, let me grab a couple.
Butterfly meat antenna.
You guys have probably seen these before. This is like 2019, and you can see all the junk that I've got in here. And so things that I was working on, different small journals, the black one here, you know, different pages where I was traveling and putting in color stuff. And I mean, everything goes in here. But what I want to do now is, you know, have stuff for all the years, you know, all the different years that I'm, and I've picked this format for, you know, the small stuff, but then I've got a big one with my calendar in it that I transfer things to. So that's one of the habits that I'm going to work on this next year. It just, I need to do more daily practices. I mean, we have a weekly practice because we're here every week, you know.
Yep.
So we know we always have that, but you know, I need to do more of the daily type thing. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I have several classes lined up that I'm going to be doing. So I will be doing some classwork just to, you know, get myself. I like to see what other people are doing and then take it and put my spin on it. So that's where the whole class thing comes in for me. But that's some of the habit type stuff that I do. So my next question, Shel, is When did you decide to do videos?
I think my channel is in its 5th year. Would you say that's true?
At least. I
Because
know
I'm like,
that
not really sure.
we have done the Pick-a-Stick for 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
And I think we were doing stuff before that, probably a year before. I'd say 6 to 7 years we've probably been. Yeah.
I mean, I could go back and look and see what my very first video was. I could do that. I was in a G+ group, which isn't that what it was called?
Yeah, Google.
Yeah, it was I went looking for some people that did the same, that were interested in some of the same type of stuff as I was, and I hadn't heard of mixed media. It was a new thing. You know, the trendy mixed media, not just the generalized mix some stuff up and call it mixed media. I'm talking about the trendy version of it. That was new, and I thought it sounded interesting. I needed something to do, and so I joined a G+ group with a bunch of other people, which is where I met Peg, by the way. This was ages ago.
That's right. That's where we met.
Yep. And I started doing stuff. I started working on stuff. I've always done crafts and art, but not necessarily mixed media. And that's when I first started in that. And I was pretty excited about it, and I wanted to share with other people, which is what we try to do in Art Joy Sharing, of course. Same idea. And so I'm like trying to do 2 things at once. I'm trying to talk and gel print at the same time. Not necessarily a good idea. So I was in there for probably a year or something, and then a couple of the people who ran the group actually came to visit me in my town, just randomly. They showed up, and they wanted to stay at my house. And when we were talking, we went to coffee, and we were sitting outside talking, and they said, "You should do videos for YouTube."
Yep.
And I said, "What? Are you crazy? Why? Who would want to watch a video that I made?" But then I started thinking about it, and I thought, you know, I like to share stuff with other people, and that would be reaching more people that I could share and talk to. And so I decided to do it. And that's exactly how it happened.
And
really
I remember when that happened, and I was one of those that said, "You need to do it."
So then I kept sharing my stuff in that group, but then I also started to make videos at the same time. And then I heard about design teams, and I started to be on some design teams. And then, I don't know, that's what happened.
Hey, Barb. Hi. Hi, Laura. Good morning. People are still rolling in. I'm so glad to see you guys. Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas and Merry Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas Eve, exactly.
Yep.
I'm still sipping my coffee here. So my whole thing, you know, when I got started, I was in a group. I'd taken a class. I think it was a Tim Holtz class, and it was one of those Facebook groups. And it was after the class, and people wanted more input. And we were talking about different techniques, and you know, how do you do this? How do you do that? And you know, just talking about some of this stuff was not necessarily the easiest for people to understand.
That's true. Yes.
And so the next thing came up was, well, can you do a video about that? And it was, we needed a number of different people to volunteer to do videos on this Facebook group. And so I said, well, I don't know, but I'll try it. I don't know if I can do that, but I'll try it, right? And so the very first video I did was for a Facebook group, that was, doing Tim Holtz type stuff. And that's what got me started. Once that worked, I decided, well, this is not so bad. And people always want to know, well, how did you do that? You post a picture of something, people want to know, well, how did you do that? So it's like, okay, I will make some YouTube videos, and that was quite a while ago. And I'm like Shel, pretty soon people start seeing you and start recognizing you, and then the whole, the doing stuff for different companies and design team stuff comes out of that. But it took a long time. It wasn't just overnight.
Yeah, you don't in our genre of video making, you don't just become whatever you call that, viral. It doesn't just like suddenly happen. In fact,
No.
it's still not happening.
Yeah, and
But we're working at it.
Sometimes something hits and you don't know why. Like a certain video will hit and it goes viral, and that's just a fluke. It's just a fluke. Nobody knows. Nobody knows why that happens.
No, I mean, I try to track some of my statistics just so that I can try to understand what people are, or why people are so interested in something that I found not very interesting on my channel. And they're suddenly like, oh, that. I'm like, okay. Gel printing is very popular. I never understand why people want to watch me gel print.
And that's yes, you're absolutely right. Some of my most viewed videos are about gel printing.
Yeah, mine too.
And I'm saying, aren't they bored to tears watching me slap some paint down?
You would think.
But no, they're not. They keep coming back for more.
Yep.
Boy, these are old techniques. Look at these. These are old techniques. That's like paste paper type stuff, and this is like alcohol ink with some paint and stuff, and oh my goodness, wow. These are stuff that's stuffed in with cards that I need to send out to people, but I've still got another whole tray of things to make cards out of. So when you decided to make videos, I know I struggled with, the basics and how to do stuff. Do you, Shel, have some basic tips for people that are just starting out?
I have basic tips for people who are just starting out, but I needed to be more specific than that. Like I have knowledge of stuff stored in my head from so far back. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I do. Do I know what you're saying?
I could help you do anything. You just need to tell me what it is you want. Because
yeah,
is it gel printing? I can help you learn how to be a better gel printer. Is it card making? I can help you with that. Is it color? I can really help you with that. I'm really good with color. Well,
and I think that's true, Shel, that many times, you and I, we sit here and we struggle with, well, what are we going to do this week? What are we going to do this week? I don't know. What do you want to do?
What we should do.
And really what we're doing with our YouTube channel and with the community is we're trying to help other people grow in the direction that they want to grow. So, I mean, if there's something you guys want to see, you need to shout it out and talk to us about that. I did talk to some friends last week, and they were giving me a few ideas about things that they'd like to see on the channel. And that was a big help, let me tell you. So
somebody actually told you what they wanted to see on your channel?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Every time I ask, nobody even says, so I stopped asking.
Yeah. It's hard when you don't have any input. So, we welcome input. Some people think, oh, we're bothering them, or we're asking too many questions. No, you're not. It's what we need. It's what we need to hear from you guys. So anyway, let me see, where are we?
Rennie wants to know, or no, Barbara wants to know, how long have we been doing the live streams? I don't even know. Do you know?
Well,
2 years, maybe?
we started the community.
Did we
I think
start
we
the
started the
community
community
at the
about the
same
time.
time?
See, where we started, there were 4 of us that were doing the Pick-a-Stick challenge.
Right. Yeah.
And that was, maybe 5 years ago, we started the Pick-a-Stick challenge. Well, then we did that for a couple of years with the other 2 gals. Lizzie and Sherry were in there with us. And eventually they dropped out, and it was just Shel and I that were left.
Well, so last year we combined it with Art Joe Sharing.
Right. I in particular was getting tired of just doing the Pick-a-Stick. I wanted to spread out and do more types of art. And so I started up the art community with Art Joy Sharing because I wanted a community, kind of like the old Google communities that we had, where we got together and we talked, kind of like we do here. And we shared ideas. And so that's why I branched off of just doing the Pick-a-Stick and started the community. Shel was thinking about, well, maybe she'd start a community too. And I said, well, why don't you just come on board and let's do it together? Because we make a good team.
Yes, and that I'm very happy that happened, because I really don't think I have the capacity to run a community by myself. Facebook frustrates the heck out of me. I hate it. In case I haven't told you guys that yet.
Well, there's a lot of stuff about social media that frustrates all of us. I'm just putting it out there. So
I'm on the top of the list of that. I don't like any of it. So it's nice to do it with someone else and not have the whole responsibility of doing the whole thing by myself. But this year we're really going to try to branch out into having even more people join us in, sharing in our groups, so that there'll be even less work for each person if all of us can participate at once.
Yeah. Well, and we've been doing that for a couple of years, because we've had the hops with other people, and we've had other artists joining in that we're trying to help promote, because we like to promote the small channels and things. But this COVID thing has just kind of put a damper on everybody.
Yeah,
and
people are not interested in much of anything right now. I think
yeah,
we're tired of being at home and being stuck. I know I am tired.
So anyway, I've reached out to a number of my artist friends. We've got some people, I'm starting to line up people. And what we're doing here today, where we're talking about different people's interests and that sort of thing, we're going to bring some of our artist friends on and have that conversation with them. And, you'll find new people that you can follow and, ask questions of or share with. My strong point is not everybody else's strong point. Some people are great at doing glue books, and some people are great at doing doodling. Some people are great at sewing, but I mean, those are not my strong points. So I want to have other people for points of reference for you guys. And that's what community is about. I did that video last week, I think, about community. And that's where Shel and I have supported each other over the years, is we've kind of been our own little community, and kept each other motivated and doing. So it will be interesting, because we've got some hops coming up, with different artists. We've got some interviews coming up with different artists, and it'll be a fun year.
Definitely.
So right now, Shel, we kind of explored a lot of things in the last year or two in doing these lives. Is there anything that really sparks your interest, lights your fire right now?
I wish I would have thought of these things beforehand.
Yeah.
I want to do more abstract art. I want to do more mark making. I want to start doing some illustration in animals that are cute. These are things that I kind of have in my head, the things I want to do. Cute animals are really just like something I'm interested in. Is that too general? I mean, are all animals cute? I don't know.
No, I honestly, I was kind of right there with you with the animal thing because I was doing the funky birds and stuff like that this year.
Yeah.
I was really enjoying that because I needed something to smile about.
Right.
And who doesn't smile over those quirky birds, right?
Yes. You guys will see a video on my channel on the 1st. It's going to be a monthly hop, first Friday of the monthly hop. But the thing that's on that video, which I can't tell you what it is right now because it's a secret until it's we don't want to ruin the hop or whatever. But when you see that, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what it is that I want to do.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that with anticipation. So
I think I want to do something like that every month. Maybe I'll do it live. Maybe, I don't know. You're so far ahead of me, Peg. I haven't made any plans or any goals or anything yet.
Well, I'm not really far ahead. I a couple of weeks ago started looking at where we were in the year and started thinking about what I needed to have ready to roll out.
Yeah, that's smart. I just haven't had a chance. To think about it.
And that's part of what I do for the community is I try to provide that direction, which is why I need input. Because in order to provide direction for the group, I need your input so that we're going in the right direction. So, where was I headed with that? Good grief. Oh, you were telling me how far ahead I was. No, I'm not really. But one of the things that I want to do in this next year is I want to work with watercolor more. You guys saw my new palette. My new palette I'm in love with. I can't wait to spend time with those watercolors and see what I can create because watercolor has not been my medium. And so when I'm trying new media out, that's one of the ones that I want to do. I want to do more watercolor. I would like to do some more cold wax.
Oh, yeah, we should do that. Yeah.
So there are a number of different things that I really am excited about and want to do.
I'm with you.
What are you guys excited about? Tell us what you're excited about. Thanks, Barb. I'm so glad we came together too. Barb's asking what you're putting down there.
Huh?
Barb's asking what you're putting down there, Shel.
Oh, I put the stencil, the dirty stencil back on there and rubbed through it with a baby wipe. That's Is that what she's asking? Here's a dirty stencil. That's what it was.
Okay. And
I'm just trying to
Claudia,
make something cute. I don't know what I'm doing.
Claudia was asking about ideas of what to do with the prints. And okay, here's one right here. This is a gel printed background that was created into a card, a greeting card. So, you know, there's lots of things that you can do with your prints.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm doing. I'm making cards out of them.
Yep. And you can print right in your journals. You know, there's lots of things. So,
Things.
and you can see, you know, just me going through my assortment of stuff here, you can see that I have worked with a lot of different things, you know, whether it's stenciling or stamping or watercolor. You know, I enjoy all of this stuff. I really do enjoy all of this stuff. So, you know, if you have questions about any of this, I am happy to help you. And Laura's interested in working with abstract in larger formats. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. I've got a video coming out in January, Laura, that you will want to be on the lookout for. I did it for Stencil Girl, and I think you might enjoy it.
Oh yes. I think that's January 5th.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's working with photo altering apps. Laura's been doing some really cool stuff with her poetry and the you know, blocking out words and text and stuff.
Cool.
I've been watching, Laura. I've been looking to see what you've been doing. So, let's see.
I took a class not that long ago from this woman who lives in, I think she lives in, it's Australia, I'm pretty sure, named Tracy Verdugo.
Oh yeah, I love Tracy.
She does really cool stuff. And I took her class that she offered for like a discount.
Yeah.
Because that's how I am. And
well, I've taken a number of her classes. She's a really good instructor.
Yeah. But one of the things she was talking about is how she took photos that she had taken and then she altered them in the apps to make them look more, well, I don't know if you want to say interesting, but she used for inspiration photos things that she had changed in those apps. And so I went looking for the apps because I thought that was a super good idea. And I do have some apps on my tablet, but the ones that she was talking about, I couldn't find.
Yeah, I've had that problem myself.
I was like, where are they? I wanted to try those apps because she was specifically showing how to use
class, sometimes the apps disappear because they're not available anymore.
Yeah, I was sad. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I've had that happen, but then I start going through apps, trying to find apps that do that type of thing, just with a search type. So, you know, they're out there, but that's the kind of stuff that we need to share in the group. If we find a good app, like I was talking to Laura the other day about if this, then that, the IFTTT app, which, you know, posts things in multiple places. You know, there's stuff that actually helps us, but we have to know about it in order to use it. So
yeah, and how do you know about it? I mean,
yeah,
would be nice to know. Do I have a purple?
they're talking about classes now and what they're signing up for. That'll be good. That'll be good to hear, you know, what you like and what you don't like, you know, because I have taken classes for 30 years, guys. Just saying. I've taken classes for 30 years. So that's why Shel and I have a wealth of knowledge about products and different things. And, but there's always something new to learn. That's the thing that excites me. that somebody else is going to have a different slant on it, and there's something else to learn. So, and I'm like Shel. I'm at the point where I shop around and get a good deal on something, because many of the classes are terribly expensive and you're not getting that much out of it. One of the things that I like to do when I shop for classes is I like to get the classes that have multiple instructors, because if you get one instructor and you don't really like the style of that instructor, or you're just not connecting, you've still got other options for getting some instruction out of the class. So things like 21 Secrets and some of those that have multiple instructors, Wonderlust, help. And it depends on how long your attention span is. Like, I've signed up for classes that are year long, and I've signed up for classes that are a month long. You know,
I'm not
it's
going
all
to sign up for
dependent on
any
you.
more year-long classes because I lose interest. I just need to accept that. I need to accept that I'm not going to watch the entire thing and do all the projects.
Well, and you know yourself well enough to know how that's going to work for you. So, and that's where, you know, after having spent a lot of money and taken a lot of classes, you start to understand. And I'm really thankful for all the online classes that are there now, because we used to always have to travel to go take classes. And let me tell you, that gets expensive. Hey, Sherry.
You know, the art community this year has really stepped forward to help people out with being stuck at home.
Yeah.
They have offered so much stuff, you know, like people like Mary Beth Shaw and Seth Apter and Dina Wakely. These people have started really sharing on social media to help people out this year, and I'm very impressed that our community will do that, you know,
Yeah.
for free. They didn't charge for it, and a lot of them offered some of their classes that they already had for free or for a really reduced price.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are like 12, 15, 20 bucks. Those are the kinds to take, guys. I'm telling you, because you learn a lot. So, let's see. Oh, yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about is favorite tools.
Favorite tools.
Yeah. So
Yep.
let's just talk about simple things. Like, do you have a favorite pair of scissors, Shel?
Yes, I do. My favorite scissors are these. I have a few different ones that are on the desk, but these are my favorite scissors. They have a Teflon nonstick coating on the snippers. They've got soft grips. They're small, and and they're very pointed on the ends. Like, you could stab yourself. You got to be careful. And I can do very small, very precise work with it. It does not hurt my hand. It doesn't make my wrist hurt. So, they're from EK Tools. Pretty sure they're on my Amazon thing, but if they're not, I can put a link below the video.
Good idea. Yeah. And okay. I don't have just one favorite pair of scissors. That's I guess the ones I reach for the most are these, because I have pain in my thumb. And so to take a pair of scissors like this, where you're putting your thumb through like this kills me. So I use these because they're ergonomic. And when I travel, it's got a sheath to put the blade into. It's got a locking device here so that when, you know, you put them away, you can lock them up. I've had these for ever, and I can clean them off with some undo or something and clean the blades. They stay sharp. These are a Fisker product. And, that people are intimidated just because it's got this spring in here. They're afraid that they're not going to be able to maneuver that. But look at how easily this cuts just with a little bit of pressure. So, this is my comfort scissor. But of course, if I'm doing something like I was showing you guys, the stamps and cutting out the background or the foam that goes on the back of the stamps, I'm going to go to these Tim Holtz utility ones for something like that, because these are heavy duty and now they're sticky because I used them. I need to clean them off. And these are from Tonic. What about crafting surfaces, Shel? What's your favorite crafting surface?
I like my glass mat, but you guys never see my glass mat because it reflects on the video. And that leads Peg to tell you about her new thing that she has on her desk there that solves that problem, which I need to get. But having a glass mat means that I don't damage my table if I cut or punch or do something heavy on it. But I do cover it up with paper. I also, of course, just like everyone else, I love the mats that you can just wipe stuff off with. Like, a lot of companies have them. Ranger has it. What are they called? Teflon?
Yeah.
Teflon
the brown Teflon.
Yeah, the brown
white
ones. I love those. Yeah. And then I have a cutting mat that I use when I'm like using my slicey cutter. And that's probably about it. I have another mat that's really large. I wish that they came in larger format. All these different mats that people sell.
Yeah.
Why don't they come in larger format?
Good question. We need to ask the manufacturer about that. Now, I'm with you. I have a large glass mat, and I think it's about 24 by 18, I think, under here. This is one of I like the fact that it's white. Now, Tim Holtz has a black one. I like the white.
Let's see what.
I was like working on a white one.
This is white.
Yeah.
It has a lot of measurements and stuff. That's my glass mat that you guys never see because it reflects the lights that are coming down onto my desk and just makes this huge refraction problem.
Yep. And I just solved that. I was telling Shel this morning that I got these silicone mats from Ranger, so I can still see my grid through, but I've got silicone on top. So this acts like a craft mat because I can blend inks and do that kind of stuff on here, but it doesn't give the glare for you guys in a video. So that's my newest surface. I still use a lot of those Teflon ones. Like I mix a lot of paint and ink and stuff, and so I'll use those as a palette even. So those are some of the things that I like. What about your water reservoir brush, Shel? What do you use?
Oh, it's embarrassing at the moment. This is what I use. It's got places when everything is clean, you can put them here to dry.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. That's your washing bin.
Yeah. What were you asking?
Wash bins. Depending on, like, if I'm doing watercolor, I want clear water. And I have, when I do watercolor, I have 3 bins.
These are my watercolor ones
for water.
There's actually a brush in there. That's crazy. There's still dirty water, but I get 3 of these, and these are just jars, pickle jars, with stuff. Sauce jar, pickle jar. Because you got to have a lot of clean water when you're doing watercolor.
Yeah, you do. You really do. And, that's key. And some people like to watercolor with their dirty water. I'm not that person.
No. No, it makes a mess of what you're doing. It's not
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah. So
Purple off here.
anyway, that's, but I was playing around. You know, we all have different water reservoir brushes
Oh,
that we use.
Pentel. If that's what you're asking me, Pentel is the answer.
Yeah.
They're the
I was
best ones.
doing this morning because remember a week or so ago I was putting different products in these, and um I clogged this one up. It had this ferrule was full of paint, and I thought I'm never going to get that stuff out of there. And this morning I took one of those straw
Oh,
brushes
calm down.
and I cleaned this out. Now this is stained, but I cleaned this out and I unscrewed the top of this a little bit and cleaned out the brush, and you can see now that this is back to working again. These Pentel watercolor brushes are the bomb. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I do sometimes use Arteza ones,
Yeah,
and one nice thing about the Arteza ones is they have a valve right here, a valve button that you can push to makes more water come out.
yeah.
Whereas the Pentel one, you just squeeze, But I think that the mechanism and the brush on the Pentel are superior.
Well, and the thing about the Pentel for me, like I said, I'm old and I have bad joints. Squeezing the Pentel is easier for me than squeezing the one from Arteza because I find that valve a little bit difficult to squeeze sometimes.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
So, and I also have these cheap ones that I fill with different things. Now, yesterday, another thing that I did was a friend of mine, a lovely friend of mine, had sent me the Jane Davenport inks because they were on sale at Tuesday morning. And I looked at the bottles. You know, I wanted water reservoir brushes with colors in them. And I looked at the bottles and I said, well, now I know why they were on sale, you know, because they were mismarked and all of that. But what I did is I filled these water reservoir brushes with those inks, and now I've got those for watercoloring. So if you get to a Tuesday morning and they've got them on sale, let me show you what's going on with those. Um, they've got a new packaging. This is their new packaging, and I'm not a fan of this because if you what you want is to get this stuff out. All you have is the squeeze, so it means you have to squeeze it out of here to put it in something else. And you know, maybe if you're not filling water reservoir brushes, it's not an issue for you. But you know, me, I have to have them in. Okay, and here, this limeade and this limeade, no, they're not the same. If you look at the color in the bottle, this is a yellow and this is a green. Not the same. These were mismarked. So if you're buying these, look at the color in the bottle itself because you might find more colors than you think they have on the shelf.
And I bet if you mix those two together, would actually make a limeade color.
Yeah. Well, this is a very, very beautiful limey color. It looks a lot darker in the bottle, but this is definitely a yellow. It's not green. So just so you know.
Sometimes weird stuff happens like that.
So let's see. What's your favorite glue?
Again, it matters what application, but I am currently in love with this Yoo-Hoo glue stick, the blue
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
It's blue and then dries clear. Love this stuff.
yeah,
I absolutely am a fan of Aleene's tacky glue for a lot of things that I do that really
yep,
need to stick. And then I like the Liquitex matte gel medium for collage. The Liquitex brand matte gel medium, not the fluid one.
Yeah.
for most of my collage. There are things that I use the Liquitex Professional Matte Medium Fluid for, but I'm a fan of Liquitex for the glue.
Yep.
Those are my most used glues.
Well, as far as the matte medium that I usually use the Deco Art.
Yeah, I do have Deco Art.
Just because I'm representative for them and I get Deco Art product. And I like it. I like the Deco Art products. You know,
Yeah,
I wouldn't tell you guys that if they weren't good.
I absolutely love Deco Art Fluid Media Acrylic Paint.
Yep.
Of all their things, that's the best thing. I love that stuff.
For fine detail work and something that dries clear and is real easy to use, I love this Art Glitter Glue. And I just put one of those fine tips on it. And, you know, this stuff is awesome. I also, like Shel, love my Yoo-Hoo glue sticks.
Yeah,
I've used these
I've
for
tried
years.
other glue sticks and I was resistant. I'm like, you know, it's a glue stick. How can it be any better than any other glue stick? But I was wrong.
It just is.
It just is.
And I also like the Aleene's tacky glue.
Great stuff, that Aleene's tacky glue. It might be old, but man.
Well, and I really like this packaging because this one has the flat cap that it sits on.
Uh-huh.
And so when you take it out and use it, you know, you put the cap back on it and set it on its cap, it's always ready to go. Sherry says she likes the Deco Art Crackle medium. Yeah, you know what I use is that weathered wood from Deco Art to get.
Oh yeah, you do use that.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. So let me see. What have we talked about? Inks. What are your favorite inks?
As far as ink pads, I generally use archival ink because it's permanent. And I just never know in mixed media when I'm going to put something over something else. So I really like that. I don't really prefer to use dye-based inks very often. For other types of inks, I love the Marabou alcohol inks. I like the applicator, although it does leak, which is kind of frustrating me right now. But they have a lot of great colors, and I like the applicator. And I'm right now completely obsessed with any type, it doesn't even matter the brand, any type of acrylic ink.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. Shel sent me some beautiful acrylics. I like acrylic ink.
Yeah, it's fun.
And one of the things I like about it is mostly the translucency so that you can layer it.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're looking for things, especially in your abstract art and your journal, you want something that you can layer over the top of something else. And it works beautifully for that. My go-to ink is always the archival. But I also like Stays On if I'm going to work on something that is not paper. I absolutely adore the Distress Oxides.
Oh yeah, Distress Oxide is awesome. If you're gonna do something with ink, that stuff is got the coolest techniques and things that you can do with it.
Yeah. And I also, you know, I'm a glimmer girl. I also like these ones that have the shimmer in them. You know, if you're looking to make something like a Christmas card and you don't want to do a bunch of embossing or something like that, these shimmery things are great. So That was ink.
Well, that
What
turned out
about
cool.
what about mark making? What do you like to use the most?
Current favorite, obsessed, is the Pentel pocket brush. Still obsessed with it. I did buy a couple of other Pentel brushes, one in brown and one in gray, or sepia and gray. And I like them too, but I still like the pocket brush. Why doesn't the pocket brush come in more colors? Dumb people.
Oh, did I show you these? Where are they?
And I like something else that I really like is the Pet Artist Brush Pens by Faber-Castell. Love
Oh yeah.
those. And
Oh
then
yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun with my Stabilo Woodies, but probably still, if you in that genre, my favorite would be the Neo Color 2 water soluble crayons. Love those. I have some other stuff here that I want to try that I haven't tried yet, but so far those are things that I really like.
I don't know if you've seen I found these brush ones in silver and gold shell.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
So it looks like a pocket brush, but it's larger.
Yeah. See, it's got the little brush tip.
Okay, well, I need that.
And I'm
Oh,
looking for the silver one right now. I'm not seeing it.
oops.
But I did find those.
Where did you find it? Online?
Amazon.
Amazon.
My
Yeah, I went on a
favorite.
deep dive on Amazon looking for um, the brush pins, and I didn't see silver and gold. I saw brown and gray.
Well, I'll have to hook you up with a link
Yeah, hook me up with the link because I'm gonna have to get those.
because those.
Yeah, they don't have
are new.
copper. What does every person who makes metallic have against copper?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, copper is a great color. I have
Best
I
color.
have a copper pen, but they're not the same.
No.
My most favorite fine line is this multi-ball from Pilot. It's got a wonderful tip, wonderful nib on it. And it is about as fine as you can get. I mean, it's just super fine. And of course, Pentel, I love these things too. They're refillable. You can't go wrong with that if you want to brush. But my most favorite thing for mark making, of course, is my stencils.
Well, yeah. I mean, we didn't even go into that. Oh my
I mean,
God.
when they came out with these ATC stencils, I was in love.
She was in love.
I was really in love. So yeah, I mean, I know Shell and I have had about every kind of ink there is on the block, about every kind of pen there is on the block. I too love the Pitt pens just because of the way that you can move them around on top of something that's got a coat of medium on it. And it works. So those are I think those are my most used. But we've got a lot of crayons and colors and chalks and
Oh yeah.
all of that stuff because you have to have it all, right?
I have to have every single thing.
So
It's just a crime if I don't.
if there's a product that you guys are questioning or you haven't used or haven't seen or not sure why anybody would want, you can always ask questions in the group and somebody there is going to know about it.
Yep.
Do you use tweezers?
Not very often. If I want to pick up small things like beads and sequins and things like that, I really love this thing. The pick me up thing.
Oh yeah.
It's got this, like, you know, that stuff you can buy to put a poster up that doesn't
Yep.
get in your wall. It's got that stuff on it. And I use that for like picking up small things and placing. I do have tweezers here. I just don't use them. I also really enjoy my ball tools. I sometimes use them to pick things up with.
Well, and the ball tools are great. Like if you're doing dots and things, I have an assortment of different sizes. Plus, they do the flower shaping and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I have to have those. I have to have tweezers because, well, and I don't just have tweezers. I have hemostats. So like if you're working on something that's going to get really hot, suppose you got a piece of metal and you're going to emboss it and you need something to hold on to it with. I want something that's going to grab it.
Yeah.
And so I use a hemostat. Oh dear, sorry. Getting a phone call. People are starting to call in for the holiday. You know,
Yeah.
family's starting to call in for the holiday. So I have several different types of tweezers too. And it just depends. Like these locking ones are pretty good. But I would say if you're going to get something like this, get the ones that don't heat up, that have something back here to hold on to. This one, I think I went someplace and somebody gave me this, but this one actually has a light in it so that when you have it, there's a little dealy bob down in there so that when you have it pushed in, it's supposed to turn a light on to light up your subject down there. Fancy gadgets, right? These are cheapos, Taiwan, you know. But I do use this kind of stuff, especially, you know, like if I'm dipping things like into some ink or alcohol or something, sometimes you don't want your hands in them. Tweezers become essential for me, as do these types of things. I've got lots of these.
Pipettes.
Yep.
Yeah. I have those too. I would say that for picking up things or holding things, or that when you're heating, I have a wooden clothespin.
That works too. Yeah.
I mean, because I'm cheap, and yeah, that's why. Clothespin me anytime.
That works good.
Yeah.
Because
I don't have any of those fancy tweezers that don't heat up. I didn't even know such thing was available. So
they have some that have a coated handle on them, so that you're not burning yourself.
That's smart. That's very smart.
But if I'm going to do something that's going to take a long heat, I'll use a hemostat because it's a ways away. And the thing is, you can clamp it down so it's going to hold on to your piece. It's not going to drop off of there at all.
That makes sense.
So that works for me. And let's see, what about spray bottles?
I have a couple different types. I've got a generic spray bottle that I use all the time. It's just this one. This is from Walmart or something. And I use this for all kinds of stuff. But then if I want like a really controlled spray, I have this one. This is for, it's a hair product, but I don't know if I can show you guys without getting anything wet. It makes the nicest, you pump it, there's not very much water in it, but it makes like this really, I don't know if you guys can see, really fine mist.
Yeah,
And they
those are
keep
great.
going for a while if you pump it up. Let's see how much water I'm getting. Things are going crazy.
Well, and the other thing that's nice about it is you can mist up in the air with that and then, take something through it because there's a fine enough mist that it'll hang in the air for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have several of those smaller squirt bottles too. But I'm like you. I like this style, because it locks. And like if you're going someplace, you're not going to do that. And then, you've got the grip, and it gives a, like if you're doing the distress techniques, this really works.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're doing distress techniques, being able to have one that has like the ability to both make a mist and also make droplets. Like this one, I mean, it's cheap, but I can get it to just make like little drops, or I can get it to make a whole spray. Not really a mist, but like more of a spray. But it's great for just for using it with distressing.
Yeah. What about your brayer?
Oh. The first brayer I ever had was when I was doing stamping. And it's a speedball brayer that came with attachments. And it's this one. And it comes apart. It does. It comes apart. And there was a foam brayer that goes to it. And there's like a crystal clear acrylic brayer that goes to it. And I thought I would never need, ever need another brayer in my life. Right? I hardly ever use this one anymore. Because I like 2-inch brayers. This one's a true 2-inch. I think this one's a 2.5. I have bigger ones. They all sit here on my desk. This is a 4-inch, and this original one that I had was a 4-inch. I even have a 6-inch. Never use them. I don't know why. I really like the smaller one.
Well, people like what they like. I have a number of different brayers that I use that I like. I use a foam brayer when I'm putting down paint and other mediums like this. This is just a regular foam brayer. And this works great for that type of thing. I have it in several different sizes, because they come in different sizes.
Actually, the one that Mary Beth Shaw was showing the other day on her live stream is just from the hardware store.
Yeah, I have one like that. It's a little bit big for most of the stuff that I do. So you don't see me drag it out very often because I think I want to say it's a 4-inch one like that. These are plenty big for what she's doing with that.
I have one of those on my desk.
These two are just stuff from the hardware. They're cheap. And as far as the brayers go, I have an assortment, and I just cleaned this one off. This is the one I've been using lately, and it's a cheap one I think I got from Amazon. And I don't know, it must be, it looks like it's maybe 2 1/4 inches, something like that.
Yeah.
But you can see I cleaned it with some Murphy's oil soap because it was a mess after my last. And this one needs cleaning because it's supposed to be that color.
Yeah, I need to.
I like this little one okay, especially if I'm going someplace and I can just throw it in a bag. The problem with this one is it does get out of But I need to pull this one and just soak that. That's one of that is will just out of there and soak.
It's one of the
But I
most
do like
satisfying things when you clean your brayers, when you take all your brayers and you soak them overnight in Murphy oil soap, and then a whole coat, if you look from the side, the whole coat of acrylic will just peel off in one big sheet. And you're just like, oh, that's so nice.
it is. It is really nice.
It's funny when that happens. Things that make us happy.
So
when the whole sheet peels off the brayer, that's what makes me happy.
there are a lot more favorite tools and things, but we probably need to start winding down here. If you were to expand your knowledge of crafts, Shel, not that you don't already know enough about crafts, what would you like to learn about?
I'd like to learn more about encaustic. I don't think I want to buy the hot stuff.
No.
But it's interesting to me. I would like to learn about Japanese painting and ink work. You know, they have a very, very specific tradition.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it would be super interesting to learn about that. I have rice paper. I have, you know, the ink. I forget what this is called. Some type of special ink. I have the brushes with the bamboo handles.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to learn about this. And then I didn't.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I would like you were saying earlier, I would like to do more watercolor. I'm collecting quality watercolor products now.
Yeah.
As in preparation to do some really nice watercolor. And I would like to learn more about it because I'm just not that well versed in it.
Yeah. Would be nice. There's so much to learn with each of the different media, you know.
Definitely. So much.
So that's yeah, where we're headed, what we're looking at and thinking about. So I guess we should probably wrap it up for today so that people can get on with their celebrations. I want to thank you, Shel, for all of your input over the years. It's been great partnering with you. And I'm also so grateful for our audience, you know, for just showing up and supporting us. You are integral to what we do.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for you.
Yeah, I want you all to take care of yourselves and your families and be kind to one another. Stay smart and safe.
Yes, yes, yes.
And we love seeing what sparks your art. So be sure and post stuff in the community because I wanna see what you're doing. So that's kind of it from us today. And I hope we get to see you guys again soon, like next week, maybe.
Like we'll be here on what is that, New Year's Eve.
Right.
So